Man, everybody asked me what were those days like, and I got to say, I mean, it was a Canadian dream. Getting paid the money I was making back then was quite a bit different than what the players are making today. My contract in the minors paid me $35,000, and when I was in the NHL, I'd make $150,000. But even $35,000, it was all the money in the world back then. I remember working, just thinking this was great. You go to practice, you work 2 hours a day, and somebody's paying you for that. It was just absolutely amazing. The travel, the players, the characters that I've had the pleasure of playing with have just been absolutely amazing. I remember one of the greatest experiences I had was my very first exhibition game with the New York Rangers. I made it through rookie camp, and they said, "Okay, kid, you're going to the main camp." And Glenn Chico Resch was one of my favorite goaltenders, and the very first exhibition game I played was against the Philadelphia Flyers. And who was in goal for them? Glenn Chico Resch. It was the most surreal feeling to be playing, looking down at one of your childhood idols and watching him. And we ended up losing that game 3-2 in overtime, but it was just an absolutely amazing experience. The speed of the game, when you're it's just things seem to move at slow motion when you're on the ice, and you're so consumed with this stretch of play that's happening right in front of you. I remember as a goaltender, I would take it, I would break down a period into 5-minute segments, and I would try to win each 5-minute segment. A sports psychologist told me a long time ago when I was 15 at the Canadian Junior Olympic Camp. He said, "Drago, as a goaltender, you got to make sure that you are so prepared to play in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of period, because those are huge momentum changers. If a team gets scored on in that first 5 minutes or last 5 minutes, it's often a game-changing situation." It's extremely hard to get there. It's extremely hard to stay there. I remember when I signed my NHL contract, that was all I was striving for my whole life, was just to get to a point where I was drafted or to sign a contract. My situation was, as a 20-year-old, I signed a free agent contract with the New York Rangers, and I thought it was just the greatest day of my life when I got that contract. But I realized that was just a start. That's just the start of your life. Hockey is it's an absolutely amazing sport, but it's also a sport that's full of a lot of pressure, a lot of mental pressure, especially my position as a goaltender, because when you give up a goal, if it's a bad goal, you can't hide your mistake. A forward or a defenseman, they can make a mistake, and the goalie usually ends up covering them or bailing them. But when you're a goaltender, you're kind of out on your own island. If you make the mistake, everybody's looking at you. And when things are going good, you're very popular. But when things are, struggling, and you might be struggling a little bit, well, you can really feel the heat of the team, the pressure. It can really ride on you. To have a successful career, you have to be on your game every single night. And that's the interesting thing. It's the wonderful thing, and it's a challenging thing, because if you had a bad night, right away in the 1 or 2 days you get a fresh start. You get a chance to prove yourself all over again. But if things are going bad, it just snowballs, and it's really difficult on you mentally and emotionally. Like, you really get paid based on your performance, of what value you bring to a team and to an organization.